Hello friends, and welcome back to the channels. That's right, plural channels. We're going to be doing this on both Cody's Extreme Scene TV as well as Crosscut Services. The lawn care business has pretty much came to an end right now and don't have a big demand around here for leaf cleanup. There are a few places, but they generally already have their own contractors that they're working with. So maybe next year we will look into venturing into that. But right now, we're moving our focus back into our arts and crafts. And if you've been watching, we've been doing a lot of spray paint art. And now we're going to venture back into some traditional acrylic painting. So welcome to the joy of the joy of acrylic. How does that sound? The joys of acrylics. The joy of acrylics. I kind of like that. All right, so we're going to get painting. Let me show you a little bit of what I have. I'm going to be creating using my own blend of a acrylic version of a liquid white. If you've ever watched Bob Ross paintings, any of his videos and tutorials, he uses something called liquid white or magic white, which is basically a very thin paint that is he usually puts down on the canvas prior to beginning his official painting, and it helps to move the paint. It helps with that wet on wet painting. So we're going to be using my version of that in an acrylic setup, and I'm hoping that I remember my ingredients properly. So we're going to be using that, and we're going to be using a variety of brushes. We're going to be working today with an 8x10 stretch canvas. I think I have a couple of 11x14s. I may do one or two of those as well. But we're going to be working with this particular painting with a 8x10 stretch canvas, and I'll adjust the camera to where we're going to get a good shot of the painting, so you will see mostly just my hands and the paint brushes, things like that. Probably won't be doing a lot of talking through it. I might, I'm not sure. And so we're going to go with that because I will be having a fan going because it's pretty warm out here, and I want it to I don't want the paint to dry too quickly. So we're going to be working with that. We're going to be working with a variety of tools. Because this is a smaller canvas, I'm going to go with a little bit smaller brush. I'll be using just a 1.5" brush here. It's a regular 1.5" brush. And I'm going to be working, of course, with palette knife. And I couldn't find all my palette knives, though. I'll have to order some. And then a variety of different size brushes as we get into the detail work. This is, of course, is a liner that we'll be using for different things, and then a variety of different size brushes, including some fan brushes, as we move deeper into this painting. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Let's get painting. Let's get artistic. Oh yeah, here we go. Alright, so we're going to get started. One thing that I did forget to mention is I do have and this is just water, just plain water. I got a kitchen, one of those like rough kitchen sponges that I put down at the bottom of it. Of course it floats up, but that kind of helps to clean the brush off. And then I have a big trash can off to the side with with a liner in it to shake the brush off into. And then of course we'll have a little bit of fun as we move along. But let's go ahead and get started. I have my version of the liquid white all mixed up and ready to go. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of it. I'm not going to tell you my exact mixture. But a little bit of this, it goes with just basic white paint, white acrylic paint, and then a mixture of that combined with a spritz of water, a couple, 2 or 3 spritz of water, and I use a retarder agent to slow down the drying, and that's kind of a mixture to mix it by eye. So let's get started. Let's get going. See what we can do. My neighbor's dog is trying to make his way in, so I'm hoping that I've got him blocked off to where he can't get in, but we're about to find out. Alright, so basically I'm just going to take my 1.5" brush, a little bit of my liquid white mixture, and just going to coat the entire canvas in the liquid white. I apologize for the dogs barking. I want to get a generous amount on here, but not too much. but I want enough to help keep that paint moving. Get a nice coat on it. Make sure I cover the entire canvas. Now, one thing I will do is I will periodically take a spray bottle, because it is warm out, and that's going to speed up the drying time. And I will just lightly mist over that painting just to kind of keep it moist. This is acrylic paint, so it is water-based. Now we're going to, I'm just going to show you this one time, just taking the container, and I use that sponge to kind of work down into the bristles, work that paint loose. And you see we have a relatively clean brush. I'm going to shake it off. And then in Bob Ross fashion, we're going to beat the devil out of that brush. All right, let's get set up. Let me get my palette here and show you what we're using. All right, and for today's video, we're going to be talking about different paints. Now, traditionally, I prefer Master's Touch or a higher quality brand paint when I'm doing my paintings. But I want to show you that when starting out, you know, if you're just doing this and you're on a budget and you want to get doing this, there is nothing wrong with using a decent acrylic paint. Now, these are art skills, and you can find these at most Dollar Generals. And just little small. I think these are 0.32 ounces, so very small tubes. But you can get a pretty decent amount off of these. Here's my palette set up. Starting at the lower right corner, I have black, dark blue, green, white, and red. Those are going to be my colors today. For right now, I may add in and do something different, but let's get going. And one more time, just a quick spritz, just to make sure that that canvas is nice and wet. And we're going to do, I said I was going to do 1.5 inches, but instead I'm going to use the 1-inch brush. And we're just going to start with a little bit of the blue, maybe a touch of the white. I'm just going to start basically with some you see I'm just doing X shapes. Do a little bit more of that blue. I want to bring the value down. See, I'm just doing X shapes here. But then as I come down, you see we're coming down in value. We're coming from dark to lighter in our colors. Now, I'm just going to take and we are getting a nice little sky here. I'm going to pull some of that down. And I'm going to tell you, and got a little hair on there, not a big deal. That liquid white is that I created is doing a marvelous job. All right. You know what? I like that, but I want a little bit more value in this. I want a little bit more color in this. So I'm going to add just a touch of red in with this blue. I'm going to go back up to the top here. Grab a little bit more of this blue. Now then, I'm going to rinse this brush. Give it a shake. And in Bob Ross fashion, beat the devil out of it. There we go, get it dry. Now I'm just going to go over it just like so. Now with the same brush, beat off a little bit of that excess paint over here. That same brush, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab this white. Don't you see how I'm kind of pushing up? I want to load this brush up with the acrylic paints. And now I'm just going to come in here and just really lightly, just with the corner of the brush, remember guys, clouds don't have any particular shape, depending on what you're doing. This isn't going to be a fancy painting by any means, because I'm experimenting with this particular paint because I have never used this paint before. So now I'm going to clean the brush one more time. Remember, this is acrylic paint, so it is a water base. No need to use a paint thinner. It's okay if this still has a little bit of the white on it. Just going to go in very lightly. I just basically want the hint, the slightest hint of some clouds in that sky. I want this to be like a very cloudy sky. I just want the slightest hint of some clouds in that sky. All right, now we're going to grab a little bit of this blue on the same brush. We're going to come down here at the bottom. I'm going to come in from the sides, pull that over to the middle. Same thing with this side. Pull that over to the middle. And now you see how we have those gradient colors there that's blending in. Going to get a nice little water scene going here. Now we're going to clean this brush one more time. Want to get those blues out of that. If you guys are enjoying these painting videos, be sure to subscribe to these channels. Be sure to give us a like or thumbs up. Don't forget to comment. Dry that brush. And I'm going to tell you, this liquid white mixture that I did for the painting here, I absolutely love the way that it's working. It's allowing for blending of the colors. And if you've ever watched any of the Bob Ross videos, you'll see that, you know, he uses something called magic white, liquid white, which is an oil-based paint. And that's what helps him to be able to blend his colors. So we're next going to be working with a little bit of the black, maybe a little bit of the white, and we're going to be working with a palette knife. So let's get going. Bringing you in just a little bit closer. I'm going to take a little bit of this white, not very much. I'm going to put it right here on my palette. See if you can see that. Just put just a little bit right there. I'll bring down a little bit of this black. Now, This is going to be my first complaint with this particular paint. It is not a heavyweight paint. It's got some body to it. I mean, as you can see, it's not running. See how I'm holding the palette here? It's not running as I hold it up. But I'm used to using a little bit heavier weight paint. Now I'm just going to spread that black out. So I'm going to do that one more time on camera. I'm going to spread that black out. I'm going to take the knife and just kind of cut across it. Get a little roll, get that on camera there, get a little roll of paint on there. And then we're going to decide where we're going to have some mountains at. Now guys, I'm going to tell you, I have not done this style painting in 10 years. So bear with me because I'm taking you on a journey as I move back into this. Honestly, this is the first painting that I have done in over 10 years of this style. So here we go. Once it's on, there's no going back. Well, there is, but so we're going to see. I think we're going to start. Let's put us a little mountain right in here. Oh yeah. Grab a little bit more of that paint, and let's see. I think we're going to bring one kind of down in front. Bring that all the way down here. Over here, we're going to do this right here. Now remember guys, this is a mountain scene. Got one little one in the back here. Now we're going to take our 1-inch brush. Actually, we're going to take our 1.5 inch. It's a clean, dry brush, nice and dry. And we're just going to take. And we're going to pull these mountains. If I get quiet on you guys, keep in mind, I have not done this in ages. Now we're going to clean this brush really quickly. I've got to tell you, I am loving my liquid white mixture. Clean that off right there, and I'm going to take my palette knife here, scrape it off on the side of this bag over here. We're going to grab a little bit of white. Same thing as with the black. We're just going to pull it down and cut across and get just a little bit of paint on there. And then we're going to come in here. We're going to decide which way we want our light coming in, and I think we're going to have our light coming in from this way. So we're just going to I prefer titanium white for this. It's just a brighter white. But unfortunately, they didn't have the titanium white in this particular mixture. And like I said, we are experimenting. I am trying to see what you can use if you're on a budget. And I'm going to be honest with you, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this paint. It is a little looser, I guess you would say, a little more runny than what I'm used to working with. But it definitely has potential. Next painting I do, I'm going to go back with the Master's Touch. I'm going to have to reload my paint here momentarily. Here I'm literally scraping, cutting that paint into the canvas here. Over here. We're going to grab our 1-inch brush and we're just going to kind of lightly pull down on these paints. And lightly go across it. Lightly pull down and lightly go across it. Very lightly. Alright. Let me reload some paint here and we'll be right back. Alright, so I went over here and I added a little bit of light blue, and I did that because I'm going to let this light blue, I'm going to mix in some of the darker blue. Now I'm going to use palette knife once again, cut across, do that one more time, we're going to cut across. Now I'm going to come in here. We're going to just lightly put in some darker blues because this is Snowtop Mountain, so there is snow on there, but we want it to have that shadowy effect. So our shadows. Kind of scraping these in. We'll use a corner of the knife here for this side. Working in up there. And so you see what I'm doing here? I'm just kind of cutting that paint in to kind of give that mountaintop some value there, some size. Over here. Alright, so we're going to come in here and I'm going to grab one of my smaller brushes. Bear with me as I kind of step off screen, off camera here. I'm also going to show you how you can use some cheaper brushes too. These are just some simple, cheap brushes from the dollar store. I'm going to give this brush a nice little beating over here. Let me do it up here so you can see what I'm doing. You see what I was doing there? Just kind of doing that to work any of those loose hairs up. Then I'm just going to pull those loose hairs out. Cheap brushes, this is one thing you have to deal with. There's a lot of loose hairs. But if you see how I did that, I just kind of went back and forth, kind of beat the brush a little bit. That loosened up some of those hairs that I could just take and pull them out. So now with this dry brush, I'm going to come in here. Now just grabbing these shadow colors here, pulling them down. Out here and give the brush a little dry cleaning. And I'm going to grab some of these whites. Now I'm going to pull these whites down. Just like so. Just kind of blend it in here. Go up here and grab some of these whites. Now, alright, let me get this brush of cleaning. And that just shows that you can paint on a budget. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is not one of my best paintings. It has been, like I say, 10 years since I've done these style paintings. I'm cleaning that brush off. As you see, I don't know if you can see that on camera there, but a couple more hairs kind of pulled up on that. Just grab them, pull them off. Not a big deal. Alright, so now I got to make some decisions. We have our water scene down here, and I am going to put some more water. That is a most definite. So I'm going to grab my 1.5-inch brush. I'm going to grab some more of this blue. I'm going to load my brush up. I'll get a little bit of that light blue mixed in there with it. Load that brush up. We're going to come across one more time from one side. Now you see now how I'm kind of bringing part of it up here. Because I got my light source coming down. I want my light source to kind of work its way this way. Now I'm just using the excess paint that's on the brush. I'll work that a little bit further over. Now, lightly go across it. So now we're going to make a decision. I know it's a little noisy out here, guys, but this is the joys of doing an outdoor style studio. So now we need to make a decision. And that decision is going to be the lay of the land. Where are we going to have any trees? What kind of trees? Is it going to be just water? You know, what are we going to do with this? How are we going to do it? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do just a basic water scene here with maybe some tree line in the back here, and just have just a water scene. And let this be just a basic, simple, quick tutorial painting. We're going to call this one Purple Skies, and go in with this. But this is just a basic lesson on using a very low-cost, budget-friendly paint setup. Now I'm going to do another painting after I get everything cleaned up. I'm going to do another painting to where I'm going to be using my Master's Touch paints, This is a different style of the paints that I normally use. It was one of the more budget-friendly versions. I also have some other paints that I'm going to be looking at using as well in the near future. We're going to see how that works out. If I can budget it in, I'm going to order some online to try it, and if it works out, we'll talk about that. So we're going to try out some different paints, some different varieties, different techniques. Like I say, this is a truly beginner's setup with a very budget-friendly dollar store paints. Now I am using my palette knife that I've had, but honestly guys, you can pick these up. If you have a Hobby Lobby nearby, you can pick these up for a couple of bucks, $2 or $3, maybe $4 a piece. You can get a set of them on Amazon for, you know, $5, $6, depending on how big of a set you get. Honestly, this is the style that I prefer. This particular one here. I usually don't use any other size palette knife. Now, if I was going to do a great big painting, I would do that, but I'm not sure. My liquid white, like I say, you got to play around with the mixtures. A lot of it's going to depend on your region. It's going to depend on the weather. It's going to depend on the temperature, how hot it is, how dry it is, and how fast it's going to dry. You can put more water, less water, no water. This is my particular mixture. I have my own set with it, and I'm playing around with some different mixture ratios, and I hope in the near future to be able to come up with my own personal liquid white. And if that works, I'll let you guys know. We'll see what we can do, see what we can come up with. But for now, let's get back to the painting. All right, again, painting on a budget. This is basically just a set of brushes that you can get. Dollar General sells these, or at least mine does. This is Art Basics, art from Art Skills, and it has, you know, large texture effects, detail brushes. It's got some sponge brushes in it, and I think these are like $3, maybe $5, somewhere around there. I forget exactly how much they run. Different size brushes, like, you know, this is a coverage brush here. This is more of your textures, and this is what I'm going to be using to do some trees with. So let's see how that turns out. Again, I typically use more of the professional grade brushes, but I want to look into the budget-friendly supplies so that we can talk about how you can have the joy of painting yourself. I'm not trying to throw off on Bob Ross there. I'm just talking about the joy of being able to, you know, get out and create something, have fun with it. This is my 1.5 inch brush here. I'm just giving it a good cleaning. Alright. So now, let's grab our palette. We're going to use what's remaining of the black on here. Mix a little bit of green in with that. So I'm going to start off with the green. Let's see if I can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to start off with some green. Going to move it down here. Let's grab a little bit more. Move it down here. Now let's go over here and grab some black. And we're going to mix all of that together. We're going to get a real dark forest green here. Now I want to, you see I'm pushing up. I want to load up the top corner of that brush, because we're going to go in and we're just going to start. Now guys, if you mess up, don't worry. We're going to start and we're going to tap. Tap. Further back they are, the lighter the blue. We'll put some darker in front, a little bit light in the back. See, I'm just lightly getting in the back, just barely touching the canvas. And then as I move into the front, a little bit darker with that, and I'm just pushing up. Just pushing up. Pushing up. Now, here's the secret of what we're going to do. We're going to take our clean, dry, 1-inch brush. Make sure it's good and dry. Give it a good beating here. Clean, dry, 1-inch brush. Then we're going to come in here. We're going to grab and we're going to pull straight down. And then we're going to go across. Pull down one more time. We're going to go across. It's kind of creating a reflection there. So now I'm going to take, I'm going to clean this brush. I'm going to use the same brush that I was using for the tree line there. Give the brush a good cleaning. Over here, give it a shaking. Let's do that one more time. Didn't get all the paint off of it. The best thing you can do, and again, this is budget-friendly cleaning. The kitchen sponge comes from Dollar Tree. The cup that I'm using was an old food storage container that I got a long time ago at Walmart. We're just talking budget-friendly painting here. But if you want to move into this, of course, the good thing to do is to have a good brush cleaning bucket. You can get them at most places to where you can work with them, and most places sells art supplies, major art suppliers such as Hobby Lobby, Michaels, somewhere like that. But you want a good brush cleaning bucket that you can get down in. Most of them will have like a wire grate at the bottom of it for scrubbing the brush with and everything. But working with acrylics, water is fine. You could put a little bit of mild soap, but if you do that, I recommend having a separate container to rinse the brush with before doing it. Now when you get done with your painting, completely done for the day, I do recommend giving your brushes a good cleaning with a little mild soap. You could use a mild dish detergent. They do sell a brush cleaning soap at most major suppliers such as Hobby Lobby, Michaels, places like that. But we're going to take the same brush here and we're going to grab a little bit of the white. I'm going to work it in to the brush. I'm going to work it into the bristles. Now I want to come off here to the side. I want to load this brush up. I want to load it up with paint. Now, I'm going to come in here. I'm just taking, kind of pushing down, spreading those bristles out now. Now I'm doing that because I want to come right in here and I'm just kind of going through here and just kind of almost an X pattern, but more of a U. Just randomly doing this to give the indication of maybe some waves through here. Now I'm going to lightly go over it. Lightly brushing. Now we're going to grab our palette knife. Back to the palette knife. We're going to grab some white. Pull it down. Cut across. Let's do that one more time. Let's spread that paint out. Cut across. Get a little bit on there. Now we're going to work in here. We're going to work on a little bit of a water line here. Really light. Really light. Now I'm going to kind of cut it in. Now, show you something here, something we got going on is my paint is starting, my liquid white is now starting to get a little, I can still blend. I'm going over this with a dry brush here. I can still blend. I'm going to grab, pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down. See how I'm pushing in? Pull down, push in, pull down, push in, pull down, push in, pull down, pull down. So bring all that down and then create that reflection. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to grab a little bit more of this blue. I wasn't too happy with that, the way that did, so I'm going to blend in some of that blue. Now right here, I'm just going to take that same brush with the blue on it, grab some of this white, and I'm just going to blend that in and then go over it. Now, we can stop there with this painting, or we could decide to add more to it. Honestly, for this lesson, this is just basic painting. This painting is not going to be one that I'm going to be putting in for sale, because this is one that I just wanted to look at what we could do with some low-cost, budget-friendly paints. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit more of that white in there. I want that highlight to be a little bit more in that. So let's grab a little bit more of that blue. Let's come over here. I'm literally using up what I have left in the blues. Now I'm going to take a palette knife and I'm just going to kind of clean some of that green off of there first. So mix in some of those whites again, and we're going to take the same dirty brush just like so. Now, this painting is not perfect. It absolutely is not perfect. And that's okay. That is absolutely okay. Not a big deal. It's not going to hurt anything. It doesn't have to be perfect. The point of this video was to show that you can use budget-friendly materials to get a basic painting. And this is a perfect beginner's painting to start with. And it was an experiment with me as well, because I was working on a new mixture with my liquid white. I'm pleased with the way that it turned out. I think it done pretty well. We're going to work a little bit more, and this was a smaller painting. I don't like working with 8x10s, but it's about all I have. But this was a great one for practice and to kind of get back into the swing of things. Like I say, it's been over 10 years since I have touched a full acrylic painting. I've done a mixture in the past few years of spray paint art and acrylics, but very, very little. Very little. This is the first one that I've done in quite a while. So I'm going to finish this one up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to end this video right here. This was just painting on a budget, a beginner's guide to doing your first painting. My next one, I hope turns out a lot better. I'm going to go back to probably my traditional styles of working with this and everything, and hopefully I'm using some some of my older brushes. Hopefully I will be able to get some new brushes, some better quality brushes in the near future, before I start doing my full-blown paintings. But let's get going. Let's end this video right here. For Cody's Extreme Scene TV, guys, remember, stay awesome, stay extreme. And for crosscut services, I know the grass is not growing, so we can't be doing any mowing. So instead, we're being artistic. Stay creative and have fun with what you're doing. Till next time, guys, hit those subscribe buttons. Make sure you ring those bells for notifications. Turn on, oh, my sticker fell off. Turn on the, what did I say? Turn on the notifications. Sorry about that. Got all confused on what I was saying. Let's start over. Hit those subscribe buttons. Make sure you ring those bells for notifications. Give these videos a thumbs up. Make sure you leave some comments and share with your friends. Until next time.